Darryl Peeks, Vice President of Partner Sales for U.S. Public Sector for Elastic. It's great to see you, my friend. Thank you for
Great to
joining
see
me
you.
today.
Absolutely.
How are you seeing agencies kind of rethinking the way that they do data and the way that they build infrastructure for their data, given all the changes that are happening in security and data use?
Well, one of the things that we're really excited about is that data is the priority. So if you don't have the right insights and you don't have the right affiliation with your data and how it's being stored or also how it's being referenced, it does limit your overall effectiveness and your mission outcomes.
Mhm.
So what we're seeing is that agencies are now moving from a centralized model, which actually has a lot of costs associated to it, to a more decentralized model or cross-cluster data mesh model. And that really is exciting us because now you're able to go to the data versus bringing the data to you, which is
Mhm.
not only saving agencies up to 40 to 50% of their overall costs, but also giving them the insights that they need within their environments, whether that's cloud, hybrid, or within an on-prem environment.
Yeah, from an operational perspective, there seems to be a big advantage too, because the Defense Department is talking about moving data to the edge, and the civilian agencies sound like they're starting to follow. Is that what you're seeing also?
Absolutely. So there's a increased focus. So cloud was the conversation a couple of years ago, and really we're prioritizing moving the applications to the cloud. Now we're seeing hybrid approaches, but also one of the things that we're really excited about is the air gap approach as well. Having strategic partnerships with agencies and organizations that are looking at air gapping the environment where they want the capability, however, they want it disconnected. And those disconnected environments are those edge use cases that we are seeing within the DoW as well as within federal civilian agencies. So we are actually having a number of conversations with leaders who are saying, well, how do we rethink how we can push AI to the edge versus use it as an interconnected resource?
hmm When you have those conversations with folks and you talk about potential solutions,
Yes.
what do they tell you about the obstacles that may present themselves when they think about the solutions that are available to them?
Well, they want to understand what these solutions are doing as far as their go-to-market approach, but also the costs and the hidden costs associated to it.
Mm.
We're not only seeing this with some of the legacy SIM solutions that use egress, but also we're seeing with AI and token utilization. So we're trying to really have those conversations in the forefront. So this way they're making more informed decisions down the road and they know what are some of the hidden costs or the legacy costs that may be associated to that investment.
Mhm. Are agencies thinking about AI as a separate thing, security wise, or are they thinking about it as another tool that needs to be secured the same way they secure all the other tools and applications that they use?
It's interesting that you say that, Francis. And one of the things we're seeing a little bit of both, right? They see it as a bespoke tool that they can use in order to gain insights, but they also see it integrated into a lot of their solutions that they are investing in. So we're seeing having those conversations both in the bespoke manner, but also in the connected manner. The other thing that we're all seeing is observability. So observability is a great use case because what it's doing is not only looking at your infrastructure, but also monitoring how that infrastructure is performing. And
Mhm.
once you understand that performance, then you can actually respond. So that's where you see this connection. But also we're seeing that there's a connection between the IT data and the business data. And they're looking at combining those together because the riches are in the niches, right?
Mhm.
Being able to understand where those data points are and act on them are really what the agencies are looking to do in a more timely manner than looking at the swivel chair approach, which we are very familiar with, but
Yeah,
definitely in the cybersecurity days
that's right.
when we were talking about continuous diagnostics and mitigation.
Yeah. So, and then that's kind of where I wanted to go next. CDM is a tool that's been around for a long time, and that agencies are, I think, pretty far down the road with their CDM efforts. Are those the same things that they're going to need to continue to do to secure AI applications, to secure the proliferation of data that's coming, or is there some like next generation that agencies should start to think about?
I believe that continuous monitoring is now more important than ever, right? When you look at continuous event monitoring, you're seeing a lot of really shifts to say, okay, well, what is happening within our environments and how can we not only respond to where there are issues that we may be observing, but also where there are threats. So when you have those malicious actors in your environment, how quickly are you responding and how are you getting that data back to the right folks that can take the action? But also, how do you automate the action? Because now we have AI that are attacking our systems and going against our systems. How do we respond in kind with AI in order to make sure that we are unlocking those insights and also being able to trap those malicious activities that are happening within the environment? The other thing that we're starting to see is that how do all these different mission areas actually integrate together? right? Because now we're trying to be more efficient, doing more with less. And because of that, you don't have the additional resources that are able to track that needle in the haystack. And actually, one of our executives said, needle in a stack of needles.
Mm.
And being able to respond to that is really what we're seeing. And it's really coming down to continuous monitoring. One of the things that we are excited about is that CISA put out SIM as a service. So SIM as a service is basically creating that CDM type of approach, but looking at SIM as that solution. And now they're able to protect their environments and also save a significant amount of money by moving away from some of the legacy SIMs that are out there. The last thing that I'll talk about is really around how do we now look at zero trust differently? Because being able to have those integrated data sets is very important to now understand how the network's performing, how the assets are performing, how the cloud's performing, how those devices are performing, and then bring that into a synchronized story. So now, instead of using chatbots for SOC teams to respond to, how do we have actionable intelligence with AI? And that is what we are definitely having conversations with our customers about.
Okay, zero trust in AI. You wrote something about that recently. We're almost out of time, but
Yeah.
I want to flag this. You wrote, as agencies align zero trust frameworks with an increasingly AI accelerated threat landscape, operationalizing telemetry across legacy and multi cloud systems remains a core challenge. What's going to help agencies deal with that challenge that you described there, Darryl?
It's almost like the Tower of Babel. You have so many different devices and applications speaking different languages. How do you pull those languages together? And that's where we believe that open telemetry actually provides that asset and that understanding. And once agencies are able to adopt that kind of tool within their networks, they're able to actually have faster insights, faster response, and also get that outcome that we were talking about earlier, where the lower level decisions are made by AI or with human in the loop, but the higher levels are giving you the expertise that you need in order to act in a fast manner.